This is the sound nobody wants to hear. The sudden slip, the heavy thud. It happens in the quiet comfort of your own home, or maybe while you're reaching for the almond milk in the refrigerated aisle at the supermarket. That single moment when your world tilts, when the floor rushes up to meet you. It's terrifying. It steals your independence instantly. We often blame a loose rug, wet pavement, or just getting older. But what if the cause wasn't the floor at all? What if the danger was waiting, neatly packaged, right inside your medicine cabinet? I am not talking about complex prescription drugs here. I'm talking about the common, everyday pills you trust, the ones you pick up without a second thought, the ones you rely on to manage a simple cough, a headache, or a sleepless night. We are entering a period of life where the pills we took safely for decades suddenly become chemical hazards. They interact differently with an aging body, they stay in our system longer, they compromise the intricate navigation system built into your brain. And the result is dizziness, vertigo, and the sudden catastrophic loss of balance that leads to a fall. And a simple fall can mean weeks in the hospital. It can mean losing your ability to live alone. It can change everything in an instant. Today, we identify the exact culprits. We expose the common over-the-counter medications that are silently sabotaging your stability, making you a walking fall risk. We show you the single mistake people over 60 make every day that guarantees a moment of dangerous dizziness. Let's start with a foundational critical fact. If you are over the age of 60, you must consider every single pill you swallow a potential balance hazard. This is especially true for anything labeled as multi-symptom relief or nighttime formula. The greatest danger often hides in the simplest solutions, the cold and allergy aisle. Think back to the last time you felt a scratchy throat or couldn't stop sneezing. What did you grab? A standard decongestant? A pill to help dry up your sinuses? If that pill contained a first-generation antihistamine, you were instantly walking around with impaired coordination. These medications are designed to cross the blood-brain barrier easily. That is how they stop the runny nose and the allergic reaction. But when they cross that barrier, they also dramatically affect the central nervous system. They don't just make you sleepy. That is too simple of an explanation. They disrupt the delicate communication between your inner ear, your eyes, and your brain, the system that keeps you vertical. This disruption translates not just to drowsiness, but to powerful, unpredictable dizziness. It creates blurred vision and slowed reaction time. Imagine walking across the kitchen. You see an obstacle. Your brain sends the signal to step over it. If you have taken one of these common pills, that signal is delayed by 1/4 of a second. That is all it takes. That 1/4 second delay means you stumble where you should have stepped. The key mistake here is assuming that the dose you took 20 years ago is still safe today. It is not. As we age, our liver and kidneys process medication much slower. A pill that used to be flushed out of your system in 6 hours might now linger for 10 or 12 hours. This accumulation is why you feel groggy or unstable the morning after taking a nighttime remedy. The drug is still highly active, even though the intended symptom is gone. You wake up, you feel fine, you stand up to go to the bathroom, and your balance system is already compromised by the leftover chemical load. This danger is particularly high in the winter months or during allergy season, when many seniors fall into the trap of using multiple products simultaneously. You might be taking a blood pressure medication and then add a pill for a headache, and then add a cold remedy. Each one slightly slows your central nervous system, and they stack up like bricks against your stability. The most potent OTC dizziness culprit falls within the first-generation H1 antagonist category. We often call them sedating antihistamines. These pills are sold under dozens of common brand names you see advertised constantly. They are incredibly effective at stopping symptoms, but they are chemical wrecking balls for the elderly balance system. Why are they still sold over the counter? Because for a young adult, the effects wear off fast and are easily managed. For someone over 65, the risk-reward calculation changes drastically. You must memorize the chemical names associated with this group. You must learn to read the fine print on the label before you put the bottle in your cart. We need to identify two primary chemical names that are responsible for the vast majority of OTC fall incidents. These two are found in multi-symptom cold cures, sleep aids, and allergy pills. We'll discuss the first one now. It is arguably the most common and accessible dizziness inducer in America. It is diphenhydramine. Diphenhydramine is everywhere. It is the active sedative ingredient in most PM or nighttime formulations. It is marketed as a sleep aid and as an allergy fighter. The mistake: taking diphenhydramine at 8 p.m. to ensure sleep, only to forget that the drug is still heavily present at 8 a.m. when you stand up quickly to answer the door or step into the shower. This chemical causes severe anticholinergic effects, which is a fancy term for drying everything out, including your eyes and mouth. But the critical effect for us is the confusion and lack of coordination it causes deep within the brain. It doesn't just make you sleepy, it makes you temporarily clumsy. Studies show that elderly patients who use diphenhydramine have a significantly higher rate of emergency room visits due to accidental falls within 12 hours of the dose. Think about your daily routine. When do you take this kind of medication? When do you feel most unstable the next day? Is it after you've already been moving for a few hours, or is it during that very first crucial movement in the morning? It is the morning movement that is the highest risk. But there is another hidden trap involving this same drug. Sometimes you take an allergy pill containing diphenhydramine, and later you take a separate sleep aid. You have just double-dosed the primary dizziness inducer without realizing it, because the names on the boxes were different. Always check the label for diphenhydramine, regardless of the brand name on the front. This is just the first category. In the next part, we will discuss the second major category, which includes pain relievers that are often mixed with sedating ingredients. We will also detail specific steps you can take today to audit your medicine cabinet and instantly reduce your fall risk by 50%. Do not touch another cold pill or sleep aid until you hear what we uncover next about these hidden mixtures. Stay with us. We just uncovered how seemingly innocent pain relievers can destabilize your steps, but the most significant hidden fall danger doesn't just happen during the day. It starts when you try to rest. We must now talk about the second major OTC culprit, sleep aids and certain allergy pills. If you are over 60, the pills you rely on to drift off to sleep could be the very reason you are stumbling on the way to the bathroom at 3 a.m. Think about the last time you reached for something to help you sleep. Maybe it was a specific brand like ZzzQuil, or perhaps a store brand nighttime reliever. Look closely at the active ingredient. We are talking about compounds like diphenhydramine. This ingredient is an antihistamine. Its primary job is to block chemicals that cause allergic reactions. A common side effect of this blockage is powerful drowsiness. This drowsiness is exactly what manufacturers market to you. It seems like a perfect, inexpensive solution for short-term insomnia. But here is the critical danger for your balance. This ingredient lingers much longer in your system now than it did when you were 40. When you took that pill at 10 p.m., your body might still be struggling to eliminate it by 8 a.m. the next morning. This leads to what doctors call the hangover effect. You wake up feeling groggy. You might feel slightly confused, and crucially, your internal gyroscope, your balance system, is slow to react. You step out of bed, still half asleep, and suddenly the floor shifts just slightly. That brief moment of delayed reaction is often all it takes for a devastating fall. This fall is not caused by your weak muscles. It is caused by a chemical effect that has temporarily compromised your brain's ability to process spatial awareness. Now, let's address the one dangerous mistake promised in our title. It is the single biggest error that stacks these risks higher and faster. The mistake is this: taking multiple different pills that contain the exact same dizziness-causing ingredient without realizing it. This is not always obvious. We trust the brand names. We assume that because the boxes look different, the medicine inside is different. This is simply not true. Think of your medicine cabinet right now. You might have a severe cold and flu tablet in one box. You might have a dedicated sleep aid in another, and maybe a pain relief pill with PM written on the label in a third. If you take even 2 of these combinations simultaneously, you have likely just doubled or tripled the dose of that potent anticholinergic ingredient, diphenhydramine. The cold pill uses it to dry up your sinuses. The sleep aid uses it to knock you out. The PM pain reliever uses it to help you rest while easing pain. You are effectively taking 2 or 3 times the recommended safe dose for an older adult. This overwhelming dose paralyzes your brain's ability to maintain equilibrium. This extreme chemical overload is why when you bend over quickly to pick up a dropped item in the supermarket aisle, the entire room spins immediately. You haven't just ignored a warning sign, you have actively overloaded your system. If you are dizzy right now, check your current medications for these combinations. How do you avoid this serious mistake today? You must become a label detective. Do not just look at the brand name. Turn the box over immediately. Read the tiny print in the active ingredients section. If you see diphenhydramine hydrochloride or doxylamine succinate or even chlorpheniramine, you must consider that pill a major fall risk. This risk multiplies exponentially if it is combined with any other medicine. Never take a cold and flu medication at the same time as a separate sleep aid. You are stacking the deck against your own balance and inviting a serious injury. This danger is magnified further when we introduce the next common category of pills. These are medications you might use every day for simple heartburn or digestive relief. These seemingly harmless stomach aids contain chemicals that create similar confusing effects on the brain. If you combine an allergy pill with certain stomach pills, you have created a severe cocktail of disorientation. We need to look closely at these acid reducers because many of them are now available right next to the toothpaste and chewing gum. You can buy them by the hundreds. We will examine exactly which stomach medications are hiding this fall risk and what simple, safer swap you can make immediately. We will reveal those specific names when we return in Part 3. We have covered the antihistamines that target your sneezing and the pain relievers that target your joints. But there is a silent saboteur that many people over 60 take religiously. A common pill that seems harmless because it only works on your gut. We are talking about your standard relief for heartburn, indigestion, and acid reflux. You feel that familiar burn after dinner or that tightness in your chest? You grab a familiar tablet from the cupboard. It feels routine. It feels safe. It is just stomach medicine, right? Wrong. This category holds some of the most overlooked dizziness risks for seniors. Specifically, certain older formulations or medications known as H2 blockers contain ingredients that can cross the blood-brain barrier. They are designed to calm the nervous system in your digestive tract, but the effect spills over into your central nervous system. For a younger person, this might feel like mild fatigue. For someone 60 or older whose liver and kidneys process medication much slower, this creates a persistent state of confusion and poor motor control. It's an internal fog that lasts far longer than you realize. This pill, designed to soothe your stomach, is actively confusing your brain's GPS system. It is reducing your brain's ability to send quick, accurate messages to your legs and arms. You are moving with a slight chemical delay. Think back to the grocery store scenario. The danger isn't just falling when you step off a curb. The real danger is the small, sharp movements you make constantly throughout the day. You took your usual heartburn pill this morning. You think you are fine. You reach up quickly for the coffee jar on a high shelf. You pull it down quickly. This small, sudden shift in weight and posture is usually handled instantly by your inner ear and your cerebellum. But because of that stomach pill, your system is running a half-second behind. The signal comes too late. You feel a sudden, violent pull to one side. The room swims. You grab for the shelf. If you miss, you are down. And the fall's compounded by the weight of the object you were holding. You must become extremely conscious of the hidden half-life of these OTC medications. Many seniors find they are most dizzy not immediately after taking the pill, but 8 to 12 hours later when the drug concentration peaks in the brain relative to the body. This is why so many falls happen at night or first thing in the morning, not in the middle of the day. Your system is overloaded and you simply cannot right yourself quickly enough to counteract gravity. Now, let's address the single definitive mistake that takes you from slightly dizzy to dangerously unstable. It's the mistake that guarantees a trip to the emergency room for stitches or a broken hip. We have mentioned it before, but we need to identify the exact mechanism of failure. The mistake is additive stacking. It is mixing two seemingly unrelated medications that share one key, dangerous side effect. This mistake often occurs when you layer a heartburn medication, which is drying and slightly sedating, on top of another OTC drug you may have taken 24 hours earlier. Think about the cold medicine we discussed previously. You took it yesterday afternoon. Today your stomach is bothering you, so you take the H2 blocker. It is not 1 + 1 = 2. In your aging body, this stacking effect becomes 1 + 1 = 10. You have created a massive pharmacological overload. Both pills are pushing the same chemical button in your brain, the button that controls alertness, speed, and spatial awareness. You are now profoundly impaired, but you attribute the feeling to being tired or stiff or just getting older. This is how independence is stolen, slowly through tiny, seemingly insignificant drug interactions. This stacking effect is why your ability to handle stairs disappears. This is why, when you walk the dog, a sudden pull on the leash results in you tripping over your own feet. Your reaction time is gone. The only way to avoid this is to implement a strict 48-hour rule for specific categories of pills. If you took any medicine known to cause drowsiness or dizziness, especially a sleep aid, a cold medicine, or a certain heartburn reliever, you must wait a full 48 hours before introducing another potentially sedating OTC drug. Use this 48-hour window as a hard reset for your internal chemistry. If your symptoms require medication within that window, then you must treat it as a serious interaction and consult your doctor immediately about non-sedating prescription alternatives. Remember, the goal is not just to live longer, but to live fully, to walk the aisle at the supermarket without fear, to reach for your grandchild without wobbling. Protecting yourself means respecting these chemicals and the time they require to fully leave your system. In our final and most crucial segment, we will identify the one common daily supplement that silently works against all of these efforts. This pill seems like pure nutrition, but it dangerously amplifies the side effects of your pain and sleep medications. We will also provide the essential list of 4 ingredients you must memorize and banish from your medicine cabinet forever. Stick with us. If you take a medication that warns about drowsiness, you must treat your body like you are navigating an unfamiliar path in the dark. This is not a suggestion. It is a mandatory change to your daily behavior. The fall does not happen when you are still. It happens during the transition. We talked about the drugs that cause dizziness. Now, let's talk about the actions that guarantee a bad outcome. Do not rush. This is the simplest rule, but the hardest to follow when you are used to moving quickly. When you transition from lying down to sitting, or sitting to standing, force yourself to slow down. If you are waking up, sit on the edge of the bed for a full 60 seconds. Let your blood pressure equalize. Do not skip this step, especially if you take medication for blood pressure or diuretics. Use those 60 seconds to wiggle your toes. Make sure your head is clear. Only then do you stand. If you are getting out of a chair, use the arms of the chair for support. Lean forward slightly. Then, push up slowly. Never rely on a small table or the arm of a couch that might slip. If you are shopping, remember your grocery cart is not just for groceries. It is a 4-wheeled stability device. Push down firmly. Do not lean your weight solely on the handle, but keep your center of gravity stable as you move. This is especially critical when reaching for items. If you are reaching high or bending low, hold the cart handle with your non-reaching hand. Never try to pivot quickly in the aisle. That sudden head movement combined with medication interaction is a recipe for instant vertigo. If you are walking outside, leave the deep-pocketed jacket at home. If you fall, your hands need to be free to brace yourself, not buried deep in your pockets. We must also discuss the nighttime danger. Most falls happen between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. You may have taken a pain pill or a sleep aid earlier in the evening. Its effects are peaking just when you need to use the bathroom. Always turn on a light. Your brain needs visual cues to manage balance, especially when medication is interfering with your inner ear. Keep a bedside nightlight plugged in. Do not stumble across the room in the dark. Even a small nightlight makes a huge difference in spatial awareness. Keep a bottle of water next to your bed. Dehydration is a massive accelerant for medication-induced dizziness. Many of the drugs we discussed, especially diuretics, blood pressure medications, and even some common antihistamines, can cause or worsen dehydration. When you stand up after being still for several hours, your blood pressure can drop too quickly. This is orthostatic hypotension. If you are dehydrated, that blood pressure drop is severe. The result is instant, blinding dizziness. If you wake up feeling thirsty or dry-mouthed, take a few sips of water before you stand up to walk. This helps stabilize your blood volume just enough to handle the transition. Now, let's talk about the single most critical step you can take today to prevent the fall. This is how you completely avoid the mistake of medication oversight. You need to schedule what is often called a brown bag review with your primary care doctor or your pharmacist. Do not assume they know every pill you take. You may use one pharmacy for prescriptions and buy vitamins, supplements, and OTC sleep aids at the local grocery store. Your doctor's digital chart does not track these items automatically. The mistake is assuming everything is already managed. For this review, empty every bottle, jar, container, and foil packet from your medicine cabinet into one large shopping bag. Bring every single item. This means prescription medications, over-the-counter pain relievers, cold medicines, herbal supplements, vitamins, eye drops, medicated skin creams, and even that sleep aid you only take once a month. When you meet with the professional, lay them all out. Insist on a thorough review of every interaction. Ask these exact questions. First, based on everything here, what is my specific risk of dizziness or falling? Second, are any of these medications duplicating effects or working against each other in a dangerous way? Third, can we reduce the dosage on anything or switch a medication known to cause sedation to a less sedating alternative? If you are taking 3 different pills that all have dizziness listed as a side effect, the cumulative risk is not 3 times higher, it's 10 times higher. You are walking into a fall risk zone without realizing it. Focus specifically on any medication you take for nerves, sleep, pain, or bladder control. These are the most common culprits for sedation. Do not be intimidated if your doctor seems rushed. This review is critical to your independence and survival. You must advocate for this time. If you are still experiencing daytime grogginess or difficulty maintaining balance, even after making these adjustments, call the office immediately. This is a sign that your current regimen, however well-intentioned, is actively eroding your stability. A fall that results in a broken hip often means a permanent loss of independence. It means giving up driving, giving up your home, and needing long-term care. This is why understanding which common pill causes that dizzying step is the key to maintaining your freedom. We are entering a phase of life where every step counts, every pill matters. Start that brown bag review this week. Look through your cabinet tonight. Identify the medications that are silently robbing your balance. In our next segment, we will delve into the often misunderstood category of supplements and herbal remedies. Many natural products, when combined with prescribed heart medication, can create massive, unexpected dizzy spells. Do not assume natural means safe.